I don't have a moral obligation to pay for healthcare. I have a moral obligation to assist with countering terrorism, nuclear nonproliferation. I also have a moral obligation to address public corruption. And I have a moral obligation to assure prosecution for grave and heinous acts involve illegal use of human beings as test subjects in medical and other forms of experimentation. Why? Because it's sabotage. Because what has happened in the United States in the last 35 years has been absolutely 100% sabotatory. You've attempted to build an economy where you want to engage in cybernetic enhancements of individuals in order to uh, provide some sort of augmentation to the central planning aspirations that are also about bioengineering. But you've refused to teach people about engineering. You've refused to teach people about appropriate math and accounting. And you've refused to get people's conscious participation in those processes. And while you've done that, you've maintained a regime of hyper exploitation that has actually made normal growth and a normal hormonal development for your young people nearly impossible. And you intentionally and strategically did this in order to allow for indulgences of a failure to perform even the most basic implementation of ethical practices at certain sectors that you allow to have a disproportionate priority, including sectors that right now want to offset losses they've intentionally accrued so that they can use that as investment in one paradigm while transitioning to prioritize another paradigm that'll accommodate things they should have done through other means. For instance, dealing with toxic waste as toxic waste, as opposed to recapitulating it into biological and chemical weapons that then are attempted to be justified as being economically necessary or useful by contriving false medical paradigms and then allowing for violence engaged through the use of those weapons to be used to manipulate a demand for insurance products. That's my obligation. And part of it is a direct connection to and directly attributable to a need for justice for my actual family, including my mother, including the way my mother was murdered, including the fact that you guys so intentionally refused to provide my mother with any rights to due process for what they did to her, that when I attempted to open an electronic account in order to file with a court for my own behalf, you murdered my mother with it. The accrual of the intentional effort to deny my mother due process in the course of all of the horrible, hideous crimes that were committed against my mother for the entirety of my life was so enormous that when I attempted to file with the court system through the electronic filing process, it killed my mother. That's my obligation. And it's yours too, right? You're obligated. You're obligated to deal with that. And it isn't just about whether it's in the public financing realm that's accountable to the public, the same way what you expect the government to pay for health insurance. But you've already done what to the government? It wasn't health insurance. And this is the thing, it wasn't health insurance. And it's not a legitimate debt because it wasn't actually health insurance. It was a capital outlay process. And until we're honest about what the capital outlay process is that it was involved with, then we're not going to be able to get anything that we actually need to be taken care of, right? And so maybe one of the ways it can start is acknowledging that simple fact. You have it's a horrible, hideous thing. My mother was murdered because I tried to file with the court. Now, is that a legally arguable point? It makes sense in the accounting. But that was not the claim I made in my case. And so now that this has been addressed in this matter, understand officially, I never consented or agreed to have any investment in or obligation to or in connection with whatever was called bespoke or net zero. I understand that what happened was I was engaged in a process of solicitation and I declined. And when I tried to make aware to them that there was information that was circulating about my identity under false pretenses, they intentionally refused to address those matters. And I believe that the reason they contacted me is because I had first contacted somebody that was involved with one of the major investment management funds associated with their operations, because I had information about how somebody had stolen his identity and used it in illegal activity. And if the only response I got to that effort was somebody trying to falsely obligate me to activities that were absolutely 100% connected to serious organized crime without any other redress, then you need to understand that's exactly how I'm going to handle this. It was criminal. You're going to need to recapitulate whatever it is you think you're justified in doing with anything that you apparently thought you were entitled to claim as credit for your business operations based upon what I was doing. You're not allowed to do that, and you weren't allowed to do that. And the only thing you can actually functionally, feasibly do now is put me in direct contact with whoever your legal representative is. Are you disappointed that this is the way it ended up? Yes, it's very disappointing, right? It's also very disappointing that these pretenses were allowed to persist for this long without there being any actual acknowledgement of the matter at hand. But I'm going to post this, and then I'm going to go ahead and take some time. I may or may not make whatever the quota would have been today, because I'm going to stay offline the rest of the day. And whatever is supposed to happen today, I'm going to do tomorrow, right? And the thing is, if you're dealing with a criminal case, there's a different concept of what that means than if you're just dealing with, what, accounting? If you're just dealing with, what, somebody trying to spike up rates for alleged emergency energy access? Well, I mean, those are matters that should have been dealt with directly and literally as the matter they were at the time, right?